everyone. I am so glad you are joining me. I'm Mrs. Davis, and you are with me in the Happy Place to Grow, where this summer we have been enjoying some wonderful stories from author and illustrator Carle. Well, you know, he wrote and illustrated over 70 books in his life. Well, that's quite an accomplishment. The thing I love about his stories, besides the writing, I love his colorful artwork. So creative, so interesting, just draws me in. But there's another thing that I've come to learn about Eric's stories. He always has some really good messages, and in today's story, we're going to learn some really interesting facts about a real animal. Now, let me see if you can figure out what animal this story is going to feature. Let me give you a few clues. See if you can guess. Well, maybe you can spy some pictures back there. This creature lives in South America. He likes to hang out in trees upside down. Did you say sloth? If you did, you are correct. We are going to be reading a cute story today called Slowly, Slowly, Slowly Said the Sloth. It's going to be a fun story with beautiful illustrations, and today we're going to learn some totally true facts. Now, before we read, I always like to ask learners what they think they already know, so that if you hear something new, you can just take it into your knowledge of what you already know. So think for just a minute. What do you know about a sloth? Before I became interested in sloths a couple years ago, I didn't really know anything. And now I know a few facts. And after reading this story, I learned a few new ones. You're never too old to learn new facts. Okay, on the count of 3, I want you to shout out what you think you already know about this cool and amazing creature called the sloth. 1, 2, 3. Shout it. Wow, I heard some great information, but I bet we can learn some new facts. So let's enjoy this story about a day in the life of a sloth. You're also going to see some other amazing creatures that live in the same location. They hang out in the same habitat that this sloth does. Now, slowly means you're going at a very unfast pace, because one thing for sure about sloths, they definitely do everything very slowly. All right, well, let's enjoy this story. Now, when I open up the front cover, if you're able to go to the library or even get your hands on this book, maybe purchase it, you're going to see in the inside cover a section right here, and there's a real photo of Eric. And then there's a lady, her name is Jane Goodall. She was a scientist. She was a researcher. She traveled to the jungle. She hung out in South America. Her favorite creature was, and her area of study was gorillas. But she teamed up with Eric because, if you're going to be presenting a story where facts are going to be shared, you want the information to be correct. So Eric did some research with Jane Goodall, and I saw on the front cover, I just happened to notice this, it said that it's forwarded by Jane Goodall. That means she gave it a thumbs up. She approved it. So we can trust that the facts in here that we're learning, and they're going to be facts in a fun way, of course, because it's a fun story for kids. Not going to be boring. But we can be guaranteed that they're accurate. All right, let's get settled in and enjoy slowly, 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 said the sloth. I'm getting tongue twisted. Here we go. Here's the first page. You can see that Sloth is hanging upside down in a tree, which he loves to do. There's another creature. What do you think that is? It looks like a porcupine to me. Okay, let's go. Slowly, 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 Sloth crawled along a branch of a tree. That's the natural thing for them to do. Ooh, I missed the butterflies. There's lots of beautiful and interesting creatures that live in the same area as a sloth. So be spying for those in the tree. Did you notice Sloth was green colored? We're going to find out why in just a little bit. Slowly, 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 Sloth ate a leaf. I did learn that sloths love leaves and shoots and flowers. And those are things that are available in the trees they're hanging out in. What else do you notice? Did you see the colorful birds and the snake hanging out too? Interesting. I see beautiful flowers too. Slowly, 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 Sloth fell asleep. You know, sloths do a lot of sleeping. It's said they sleep 15 to 19 hours in a 24-hour day-night cycle. 24 hours in a day. After 24 hours, it's a new day. Of 24 hours, they're sleeping 15 to 19 hours. Well, that's a long time to be sleeping. They do things in a very slow manner. What's this? It's definitely not a house cat. Slowly, 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 Sloth woke up. And when he woke up, there's a new creature. What do you think that is? Sort of looks to me like an armadillo. What do you think? It's just hanging around. All day long, the sloth hung upside down in a tree. I don't know about you, but if I hung around upside down, I think the blood would rush to my head. But sloths, that's the way they live. And there's another interesting creature. He definitely lives in the same area. He doesn't live around my neighborhood. Now it's nighttime. All night long, Sloth hung upside down in a tree. Day and night hanging upside down. He loves it. And look at all the nighttime creatures. Looks like there's a bat, and there's another type of creature. I'm not sure what that is. Interesting. It's walking around. Must be a nocturnal creature, a night creature. Oh no, it's raining. There's a lot of rain in the jungles and the rainforest where the sloth is living in South America. Even when it rained, the sloth hung upside down in the tree. That's what he does for a living. That's what he does best. Yeah, look at those frogs. They're interesting. And then another interesting creature. Cool. It's raining pretty hard. Uh-oh. Here comes a monkey. And this monkey's talking, so that part's fiction. Why are you so slow? The howler monkey asked one day. And there's a turtle. But Sloth didn't answer. Why are you so quiet? The caiman asked. He's asking Sloth a question, but the sloth didn't answer. You know, sometimes we might have things we like to do and others don't understand. And they ask, like, why do you do that? Sloth just hung out. He didn't get too disturbed about it. Hung out. Why are you so boring? Oh, that's offensive. Why are you so boring? The anteater asked. But Sloth didn't answer. You know, sometimes you're you, and others think that might be boring. You just have to be you, right? Let's see what happens next. Let's see which creature happens along. Ooh, a fierce cat. Tell me, said the jaguar, why are you so lazy? That's what people have a perception about sloths, like they're just lazy. But maybe it's just who they are. That's okay. The sloth thought and thought and thought for a very long time. I love how the sloth in this story is just being so thoughtful. He's not getting upset when the creatures ask him questions or even say you're boring or lazy. He's thinking about the things that they're saying, but he's not letting it affect him. I think that's a good way to receive things. You be you. Hey, let's go on to the next page and see what Sloth does next. Let's see if I can turn the page here. Remember, he's thinking for a long time. Finally, Sloth replied. That means he spoke back. And there's the page. Look, he's in a different position. He's coming down to the ground. It is true that I am slow, quiet, and boring. I am lackadaisical, I dawdle, and I dilly-dally. These are all like words if you're just kind of slow and just doing your own thing. I am also unflappable, languid, stoic, impassive, sluggish, lethargic, placid, calm, mellow, laid back, and, well, slothful. I am relaxed and tranquil, and I like to live in peace. But I'm not lazy. Then Sloth yawned and said, that's just how I am. I like to do things slowly, slowly, slowly. I love Sloth's confidence. He's mellow, he's calm, he's doing things his own way, but he's definitely not lazy. That's just the way he is. I love that confidence. It's a good message for us. And look at the back cover. There's all those creatures that we saw in the book, and if they weren't named, like the snake, it gives you the name anaconda. It tells you exactly what each creature is. There's that caiman, the jaguar. Tells you all the different creatures that live around that area. Wow, some totally great facts. And what a fun story. And I love the message that Carle is giving us. Not only did he give us facts about the sloth, but I love the fact that you be you and you be confident in who you are. Don't let others tell you that you're boring and lazy. You just be you and be confident in the you are. There's no one else like you, so celebrate yourself. Such a good message. Such a cute character. I love he's doing things his own way. Now, I'm going to leave you with a couple of quick facts about sloth, about the sloth. You know, they do hang around upside down most of the day, but did you know this? There are two different kinds of sloths. There's the two-toed sloth and the three-toed sloth. I didn't know that. Now, when they eat, is dawn, and then they come back out at dusk. Dawn is the very earliest when the day is just starting. The sun is just starting to peek out. It's not too bright, but not too dark. That's a good time for the sloth to eat. And then dusk is right when the sun is setting. It's kind of getting dark, but there's still a little bit of light. So I guess that would mean he eats twice a day. And we know that he eats shoots and leaves and flowers, but also some fruits. Now, did you notice sloth's fur was green? That is a plant that forms on his fur called algae, because you know what lives in sloth's fur? It's a sort of a hotel for moths and beetles. And the moths like to eat that algae. And they say their thinking is that also, since algae is green, it sort of provides a type of covering or camouflage, since the things around in the tree are green, kind of helps the sloth stay blended in with his surroundings. Hey, awesome. Now, don't think sloths are such cute little creatures. They can defend themselves really well because they have super sharp claws. I guess that's how they get up and down trees. Here's a fact I didn't know about sloths. They can actually swim in the river, and they make a noise called an ahi. Not really sure what that sounds like. That'd be something that we could ask Google, though, for sure. Now, here's the funny fact. I'm going to leave you with this last fact. Don't laugh too hard. Well, you know, all creatures that eat also have to go poop and pee. But sloth only comes down to the ground once a week. And when it comes to the ground, it poops, of course, and pees. But they're very clean and neat animals. They like to cover up the poop. And maybe that's a type of disguising, too, that they've been there. If other creatures, maybe predators are coming around, they definitely cover it up. I didn't know that, did you? And then, after they poop, pee, and cover up their mess, then they move on to a new tree. And I was thinking about that, like, why wouldn't they just crawl up to the old tree? What do you think? Why do they move to a new tree? If you're like me, I'm thinking that if they've been hanging around for a week in a tree, they might have eaten a lot of the leaves and the fruit and the shoots and the flowers. So they need to head to a new tree restaurant, if you please. They've got to go get some new food, so they need to move to a new location and get some fresh grub. That's what I think. What do you think? Well, I hope you've enjoyed this story. Slowly, 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 said Sloth. I had never read it before, and when I got this book and read it, I said, wow, another great story that I love from author Carle. All right, as always, go collect some facts about creatures. Maybe you want to journey to South America via the internet, ask Google, and find out some more information about some of the animals you saw in the back of the book. That would be fun. Do some research like Carle did. Yeah. All right. As always, keep reading. Add some research to your story adventures and have a good one.